Well, hi, I'm John Hart, and welcome back to Mr. America Hart. Today, I'm sharing with you what I've learned over the last 60 years. And what I want to share with you is some of the most vital lessons that I've learned, uh, whether it's in my career or in my personal. And especially in this last week, I've been on the road for the last couple of weeks through several states, collaborating with several other YouTubers. And in that process, I've had a lot of time of introspection. Yes, I turned 60 this last year at the end of the year. And driving and thinking and making notes as often as I could, I'm glad that I did, because now I can share this with you. And I have 8 really good points to make here on the things that I've learned over the last 60 years. And my number one, so stay with me now, is having a relationship with God. So as a Christian man, a man of God, you all know that, or those who do know that I don't proselytize or hit you over the head with my Bible. I'm not going to right now either. I'm just pointing out that having a relationship with God has been a great source of peace. It's increased my faith at times when I really needed to have strong faith. And it gives me a hope, of a future, a great future, even after this life is done. So that's my number one, okay? My number two is being led to do what you do and enjoy what you do. There you go. So it's not just being led, doing a career or starting a business or joining a team or, a group and saying, oh, well, I really feel inside I'm led to do this. But it's also important that you enjoy what you're doing. So it can't be a source of strife. Oh, there's a theme that we're getting on right there. Having strife and, just, argumentative situations in your life. You can't have that. So that's another one that I've learned, is to seek that same peace that I mentioned in number one, but seeking that in your career and enjoying what you do. So you have to have enjoyment, okay? So that's my number two. Number three, here's a good one for you. I've said this many, many times over the years. John gets paid according to the size of the problems that he fixes. And, and that is really sort of my justification, for charging decent amount of money for my my business efforts. And you should too. You should value your time, number one. But number two, if you're solving big problems, you should be paid big money. And I'm reminded of 2 people in particular that have changed our world and the way our world operates. And one of them is Jeff Bezos with Amazon. So for many of you out there, just like myself, I use Amazon all the time. And it's really fun to be able to, it's changed shopping in general. You don't go to storefronts as much anymore. So ordering on Amazon and having something at your doorstep the next day, or even the same day at times that's possible, is amazing. It's amazing. And for a reasonable price, can't be beat. So Amazon has changed our lives around, at least in America. I don't know about the rest of the world, but in America it has. And the other person I think of is Elon Musk. Elon Musk, another one of the most wealthiest men in the world, solves big problems. I mean, he came up with an amazing electric car and charging stations, and he's changed many people's lives around the country. And that's just one aspect of his business and one of his businesses. So that one in particular, those 2 men are, multi-billionaires and have made more money than most human beings will ever in 10 lifetimes. And they get paid according to the size of the problems that they fix. So they've fixed many big problems. People didn't like going to stores and shopping, so now they can just do it from their couch. Press a button, boom. Yes, the money's debited from your account and the product is at your door the next day or that same day. So there's an answer for people. It solves problems for people, the convenience factor. That's my number 3. My number 4 is productivity does not stop at age 55. So in the United States, for the last century or so, 55 was looked at as the age of retirement. You know, after you've put in a good career, a solid job, really consistent, working for some company for 30 years of your life, from age 20, 25, all the way to 55, you know, you get a retirement package, you move on, and it's enough money to live on, and you know, you're expected to live out the rest of your days, which, for the most part, for most people, wasn't very long. You know, a good 20 years or so. They made it to about 70, 75. They consider that to be a good long life. But productivity, I've seen way too many people in these last 60 years of my life. And yes, if I didn't mention, I did turn 60 at the end of last year. So I've seen way too many people be extremely productive at and after 55. So starting new businesses, answering big problems, therefore getting big pay, solving big problems and getting big pay. That's another, you know, big one right there. It doesn't matter how old you are to solve big problems. If you see a problem out there that you can solve and it's going to help a lot of people, you'll get paid big time for it. And so productivity doesn't stop at age 55. So that one has to go right out the window. There's several decisions you're going to make in your life as well that are going to affect the rest of your life. And these are what my next few are about. So that was my number 4. Productivity doesn't end at age 55. My number 5 is who you decide to marry. This is really, really important and should not be taken lightly. And the reason I say this is that divorce has almost become in the United States, it's almost become you know, not a badge of honor, but just a tag that people wear. Yeah, I've been divorced twice. Yeah, I was divorced once. You know, yeah, kids by another marriage. Blah blah blah. You know, obviously we all make mistakes. However, making those mistakes and, you know, torching 20 years of your life that you can't get back, spending it with the wrong person, pales in comparison to what it could have been if you were with the right person. So, not taking marriage lightly, okay? Getting married to the right person is vitally important, and taking your time in dating. And I would be so bold as to suggest that maybe holding off on the sexual component of a relationship when you do meet somebody is really important as well. Not maybe, it is. And here's why. You get to know somebody up here and in here, in your head and in their head and in your heart and in their heart. You get to know their heart. You get to know what happens between their ears. Unfortunately, when you involve, you know, the entire southern end of your physique with somebody else's, the other two seem to be shut off and put on hold for a later date. And at some point in your life, as years go by, those things become much more important, okay? The heart issues, the thought processes, and how we communicate, very, very important. Those in marriage are not to be taken lightly. So I just gave you an answer right there. See, John gets paid according to the size of problems that he fixes. So some of you are about to go out there and get married. Some of you are considering getting married, and maybe you shouldn't do it so fast or rush on into it. Maybe you should take a little bit more time getting to know that person and their heart, okay? Maybe you've already gone there, you know, sexually, and you need to back off a little bit, or try to convince them they need to back off a little bit. But yeah, I'm just saying what makes sense, okay? This is sort of like common sense right here. But I know some of you are just laughing at that one, and I probably would have too before I was married to my wife right now. So, but I made the right decisions with my wife, you know, so that part I have to share with you, that, you know, I'm married over 20 years now, and, you know, 3 children. I wouldn't change a thing in that regard. So that's it. When you get it right, you get it right. Okay, let's move on. Speaking of children, that's my number 6, okay, is kids. The decision to have kids. Man, for those of you who can have children and want children and decide, you know, to have children, you would find out that it's one of the greatest gifts and experiences that you can have. And that is your own personal growth and development will be affected greatly by having children. You'll find out what true love is. Uncompromising, there's absolutely no requirement for it. It just exists to such an intense level, more so than with just about any human being on the planet, okay? It's unconditional. That's the word I was looking for. It's unconditional love where your kids are concerned. You actually learn what unconditional love is and how far you would go for your kids, more so than anybody else on the planet. I would even go so far as to say that when your kids are kids, you would probably go so far as to exceed anything you would even do for your spouse. Because in a way, marriage is conditional, okay? Your wife can go out and cheat on you, and I bet for a lot of you that would change your view and your love for your wife. However, your kids, what could they do, when they're age 1 to 18? What could they do that would really, really, mess up your love for them? So it's deep. It's deep. And those of you, it's IYK, YK. If you know, you know. Okay. And those of you who don't know, trust your brother on this one. That's one of the greatest experiences in a lifetime, is to know what true unconditional love is. And I'm reminded all the way back to my number one that because I am a man of God, that's how God looks at us. He has unconditional love for us. He loves us no matter what. So as children of God, it gives you a glimpse of how God must feel about us. Wow, that's deep. As a parent with children, you get a glimpse of how God must feel about us. Man. Okay, and then let me move on. That was deep. My number 7. Okay, that was 6. I'm giving you a number 7 right now, which as a man, this one's for the men out there now, okay? It's to have a male friend. In all of my videos that I've shot, all bodybuilding related, training related, I've shared with you certain techniques and workout routines that, generally speaking, I'm doing it from a filter of I've had a good training partner to help me out at times. I've had family members to help me out as training partners in the gym. And some of the comments I see in the comment sections of my videos involve you saying, well, you need a training partner for that. I don't have anybody I work out with. I work out alone, and like this. And I have to tell you that a lot of you guys, I don't understand that most of the time, because I'm going, why wouldn't you ask somebody to work out with you? Why wouldn't you go and hit the gym, and after working out there for a while, you get to know the faces at your gym, and why wouldn't you work in on some body parts with somebody, get to be friends with them, get to share some experience with them? It's absolutely stupid. And as a man who I've only had really 2 strong, good friends of mine in my lifetime, I've come to realize that having a male friend, it's right up there with, having a spouse, having a great wife. This is an aspect of your life that is important to fill, actually. Somebody you can relate to, a peer. There you go. There you go. And when you have that, it's someone you can bounce ideas off of. And generally, when we're talking about a man to a man, it's a different dynamic, okay? It's a different dynamic. Usually, men with other men are pretty quick. If they truly are their peer, they're pretty quick to shoot out an unfiltered, uncensored answer when asked a question or their opinion. And that's what we need. Men need that. I don't need smoke being blown up my butt, by people who have an agenda, okay? I really need to have somebody give me the truth, the hard truth, throw it in my face, and generally speaking, I appreciate it more than get offended by it. There we go. So having a male friend. And lastly, one of the biggest observations that I've had, and it's my number 8, is, and I'm not saying this because I've been in bodybuilding for 40 years. I'm saying it because it's a great observation, and now it's being proven by medicine, which is having more muscle equals better health. So this lesson right here it's becoming factual, proven by science. These days, you can go and follow certain people. I'll recommend to you to go and follow Dr. Gabrielle Lyon on YouTube, Lyon. You can follow Dr. Donald Lehman, Leman. You can look up Dr. Lane Norton. Those 3 deal directly with the diet and protein synthesis and how important it is to have a lot of muscle on your body as you get older, as you get past 40. Every decade after that, attempting to gain muscle becomes more important. Not giving up on it, not accepting the often repeated statements that you lose a certain percentage of muscle each year past 30 or 40 or something like that. It's stupid. And if you believe that, then that's exactly what you're going to have. And in my world, I just don't buy it. I don't believe it. And increasing your lean muscle mass, at the very least, maintaining it for all your days equals better health. And it also helps to reduce your body fat levels. Having too much body fat is a problem. So being lean and having as much muscle as possible equals better health. So these are my 8 observations on what I've learned after 60 years of being on this planet, walking around and doing my job and enjoying helping all of y'all. So I hope you got something out of this. Please hit me with your comments down below. You'll notice this video, I didn't throw up a bunch of graphics and everything because I just want to focus on the points that I'm making here. And I hope you enjoyed it. Give me all your input down below and consider joining my training community. I'll put a link down below for that. It's exclusive content as well as you get to get some good one-on-one Q&As with me quite often. So please go ahead and hit it with the Hit with Mr. America Heart training community. That's it. I'll see you soon. From my heart to you, John Hart. Oh, and before you go, off to your left, you're going to see a disc pop up. That's the subscribe button for my channel. Please give that thing a tap. And then down below, off to your left, you're going to see a thumbs up button. Please, if you're liking my videos, give it a thumbs up. Tap that thing and change the color of it. It lets the YouTube algorithm know you're loving my videos. It lights it up and it lights me up too. I'll see you soon. Thank you.